Hey everyone! When the air gets a little crisp and the leaves start turning those gorgeous shades of red, orange, and gold, you know what time it is. It's cider season. There's just something so comforting and special about wrapping your hands around a warm mug of apple cider, especially during the holidays. It's a drink that brings people together, whether you're at a fall festival, a pumpkin patch, or just cozying up on the couch with your family. For so many of us, the scent of cinnamon and apples simmering on the stove is the official smell of autumn and the festive winter months that follow. It's more than just a drink. It's a tradition that warms you from the inside out. The love for apple cider isn't a new thing either. This delicious beverage has been a part of holiday traditions and family gatherings for centuries. Think about it. It's a simple pleasure that connects us to the past and to the harvest season. It's the kind of drink that feels both nostalgic and exciting all at once. Whether you're sipping it hot with a cinnamon stick or enjoying a cool, crisp glass on a sunny autumn afternoon, it's a taste that defines the season. It's the perfect way to celebrate the bounty of the apple harvest and make memories with the people you love. That's why we come back to it year after year. It just feels like home. But what makes it so universally loved? I think it's because it's so versatile and just plain delicious. Kids love its sweet, fruity flavor, and adults can enjoy it as is or even spike it for a more grown-up treat. It's the star of the show at Halloween parties, Thanksgiving dinners, and Christmas markets. You can find it everywhere from your local farm stand to your favorite coffee shop, and each place has its own little twist on it. It's a simple joy, a celebration of nature, and a staple of the coziest time of the year. This drink is a true classic, and it's here to stay. So, as we dive into this wonderful season, let's take a closer look at this amazing drink. We're going to talk about what makes it so special, from how it's made to all the good stuff packed inside. We'll even explore its fascinating history and how you can enjoy it in a way that's both yummy and good for you. It's more than just juice. It's a whole experience. Grab your favorite mug, get comfortable, and let's talk all things apple cider. It's going to be a delicious journey, I promise. So, you might be wondering, what's the difference between apple cider and apple juice? It's a great question because they're not the same thing. Think of apple cider as the rustic, unfiltered cousin of apple juice. When you look at a glass of cider, you'll often see it's cloudy or opaque, and that's because it contains tiny particles of apple pulp or pomace that haven't been filtered out. This gives it a richer, more complex apple flavor that's a little less sweet and a lot more robust than the clear, super sweet apple juice you might be used to. It's the closest you can get to drinking a fresh apple right from the tree. Apple cider is essentially the raw, unprocessed juice that comes from pressing apples. The process is super simple. Apples are washed, cut up, and mashed into a pulp. This pulp is then put into a special press that squeezes out all the delicious liquid, and voila! You have fresh apple cider. Because it's unfiltered, it keeps more of the natural components of the apple, which is what gives it that signature cloudy appearance and hearty taste. This raw quality is what so many people love about it, making it feel like a true taste of the orchard and the harvest season. Another wonderful thing about apple cider is its versatility. You can enjoy it in so many different ways, which is part of its charm. On a chilly day, there's nothing better than heating it up on the stove with some mulling spices like cinnamon, cloves, and star anise. The whole house fills with an incredible aroma, but it's also fantastic served cold over ice for a refreshing treat on a warmer fall day. Some people even use it in recipes for baking, cooking, or making marinades. It's a drink that can be whatever you want it to be, which is why it's such a staple for so many occasions. Finally, it's important to know that in the United States, apple cider usually refers to this non-alcoholic, unfiltered drink. However, in many other parts of the world, cider means hard cider, which is alcoholic. Here in the States, we make sure to call the boozy version hard cider. So when you're picking up a jug from your local farm, you're getting that pure, sweet, and tangy taste of fresh pressed apples. It's a simple, wholesome beverage that captures the essence of autumn in every single drop, and that's what makes it so special to all of us. The journey of apple cider begins in a beautiful, sprawling orchard, where apples are ripening on the trees, soaking up the sun. The best cider is made from a blend of different apple varieties, combining sweet ones like Gala or Fuji with tart ones like Granny Smith or Macintosh. This mix is the secret to a balanced and flavorful cider. Once the apples are perfectly ripe, they're harvested and brought to the cider mill. The first step is to give them a good washing to make sure they're clean and ready for pressing. It's all about starting with the best, freshest ingredients to get the best final product. After the apples are washed, they're sent to a grinder or a mill. This machine chops and mashes the apples, skins, cores, and all, into a thick, chunky pulp called pomace. Think of it like making a giant chunky applesauce. This step is crucial because it breaks down the cell walls of the fruit, making it easier to extract all that delicious juice. The pomace is then layered between cloths in a large wooden or steel rack, creating what looks like a giant stack of apple pulp sandwiches. This stack is then moved into the cider press, where the real magic happens. The cider press is a powerful machine that exerts a huge amount of pressure on the stacks of pomace. As it squeezes down, the fresh, raw juice is forced out of the pulp and flows down into a collection tank. This freshly pressed liquid is your apple cider. It's unfiltered, cloudy, and packed with that intense, fresh from the orchard flavor. Some cider makers might let it sit for a little while to allow some of the heavier sediment to settle, but they don't filter it completely. This raw, unadulterated state is what defines true apple cider and sets it apart from its clearer, more processed cousin, apple juice. From the press, the cider is ready to be bottled and enjoyed. It can be sold as is, a fresh, perishable product that needs to be kept refrigerated, or it can be pasteurized to give it a longer shelf life. But whether it's fresh from the mill or warmed on your stove, every sip of apple cider is a taste of this simple, time-honored process. It's a celebration of the apple harvest, transformed from a solid fruit into a liquid delight that brings so much joy and comfort during the fall and winter months. It's a true labor of love, from the orchard to your mug. When you're sipping on a delicious glass of apple cider, you're not just enjoying a tasty treat, you're also getting some of the wonderful nutrients found in apples. Apples are packed with vitamins that are great for your body, and since cider is made directly from them, it carries over some of those benefits. One of the key players is vitamin C, which everyone knows is a superhero for our immune system. It helps keep our bodies strong and ready to fight off those seasonal sniffles. So, that cozy cup of cider can give you a little extra boost to help you stay healthy during the colder months. But the goodness doesn't stop there. Apples and apple cider also contain vitamin A, which is a fantastic multitasker for our health. Vitamin A is famous for supporting our vision, especially our ability to see in low light. But it also plays a really important role in keeping our white blood cells, the little soldiers of our immune system, working properly. Plus, it helps with our metabolism, which is how our body turns food into energy. It's amazing to think that a simple, delicious drink can be contributing to so many important functions that keep us going every single day. Let's not forget about vitamin K. This might be a lesser-known vitamin, but it's super important for our bodies. Vitamin K is essential for blood clotting, which helps us heal from cuts and scrapes. It also plays a role in bone health, working alongside calcium to keep our bones strong. Some studies have even suggested that it can help prevent things like muscle cramps, which is great news for anyone who likes to stay active. While cider doesn't have as much vitamin K as leafy greens, it's great to know that every little bit helps contribute to our overall wellness. Finally, apples are a great source of hydration. Did you know that apples are made up of about 85% water? When you press those apples into cider, a lot of that natural hydration is transferred right into your glass. Staying hydrated is one of the most important things we can do for our health, as it helps with everything from skin health to energy levels to brain function. So, while you're enjoying the sweet and tangy flavor of your cider, you're also helping your body stay hydrated in a really delicious way. It's a win-win. Beyond the vitamins, apples and apple cider are loaded with amazing natural compounds called phytochemicals, which are basically powerful plant chemicals that can do wonders for our health. One of the most famous groups of these are flavonoids. These are antioxidants that act like a personal security team for your body's cells, protecting them from damage. Flavonoids are especially great for your heart. They work to help relax your blood vessels, which can improve blood flow and lower blood pressure. They also help prevent blood clots, keeping your circulatory system running smoothly and your heart happy and healthy. Another superstar phytochemical found in apples is called quercetin. This is a powerful antioxidant with some seriously impressive anti-inflammatory properties. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or illness, but when it becomes chronic, it can lead to all sorts of health problems. Quercetin is particularly known for its ability to fight inflammation in the respiratory system, which is fantastic news for anyone who deals with seasonal allergies or asthma. A little bit of quercetin from your daily apple or cup of cider can help calm things down and support healthier breathing. These plant chemicals, especially the antioxidants, are also believed to play a role in reducing the risk of certain diseases. By fighting off damage from unstable molecules called free radicals, antioxidants help protect our DNA and may lower the risk of developing some types of cancer. The unfiltered nature of apple cider is a huge plus here, because it contains more of the apple's pulp and peel, where many of these compounds are concentrated. Unfiltered cider often retains more of these protective phytochemicals than clear, filtered apple juice. So, that cloudy goodness is actually a sign of more health-boosting power. So, while you're enjoying that rich, complex flavor of apple cider, you're also consuming a whole symphony of natural compounds that are working behind the scenes to support your long-term health. From protecting your heart to calming inflammation and fighting cellular damage, these phytochemicals are a big reason why an apple a day, or a glass of cider, is such a smart and delicious choice. It's a perfect example of how food can be both a source of immense pleasure and a powerful tool for keeping our bodies strong, healthy, and resilient. We've all heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and honestly, it's for good reason. Eating a whole apple is definitely one of the healthiest snacks you can choose. But how does drinking a glass of apple cider stack up? Let's break it down together. When it comes to calories, they're surprisingly similar. A medium-sized apple has about 110 calories, while an 8-ounce cup of apple cider has around 120 calories. So, in terms of energy, they're pretty much neck and neck. It's a good reminder that even though cider is a liquid, its calories can add up just like any other food or drink. Now, where we really see a bigger difference is in the sugar content. A medium apple contains about 19 grams of natural sugar, and that comes packaged with lots of fiber. That same 8-ounce cup of apple cider, though, can have up to 30 grams of sugar. That's quite a jump. The reason for this is concentration. It takes several apples to make 1 cup of cider, so you're getting the sugar from all those apples packed into one glass. And because the sugar is in liquid form and separated from the fiber, it can cause your blood sugar to spike more quickly than if you ate a whole apple. The biggest nutritional difference between an apple and cider is, hands down, fiber. This is a huge one. A medium apple with its skin on gives you about 4.5 grams of dietary fiber, which is just fantastic for your digestive health. Fiber helps you feel full, keeps your digestion regular, and slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Apple cider, on the other hand, contains less than 1 gram of fiber per cup. The pressing process separates the juice from the fibrous pulp, so you really miss out on this key benefit. That lack of fiber is another reason why the sugar in cider hits your system so fast. So, what's the verdict? While apple cider is a delicious treat that still offers vitamins and antioxidants, a whole apple is the clear winner for everyday health. The combination of fiber, lower sugar concentration, and nutrients in its natural form makes the fruit a much more balanced choice. Think of apple cider as a wonderful seasonal indulgence. Enjoy it in moderation, be mindful of the portion size, and keep reaching for a whole apple for your daily snack. That way, you can really get the best of both worlds, the wholesome goodness of the fruit and the festive joy of the drink. When you're browsing the farmer's market or the grocery store for that perfect jug of apple cider, you might see some labels that say pasteurized and others that say unpasteurized or raw. It's really important to know the difference for your health and safety. Pasteurization is a pretty simple process where the cider is gently heated to a specific temperature for a short period of time. This process is designed to kill any harmful bacteria that might be present in the raw juice, like E. coli or Salmonella, without dramatically changing the flavor of the cider. Why is this necessary? Well, apples are harvested from the ground and handled during the pressing process, which means there's a chance for bacteria to get into the mix. While the risk is generally low, it can be serious, especially for certain groups of people. Young children, pregnant women, the elderly, and anyone with a weakened immune system are more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses. For these individuals, drinking unpasteurized cider can pose a significant health risk. That's why many cider producers choose to pasteurize their products. It's a simple safety step to make sure everyone can enjoy it without worry. Because of these risks, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has specific rules in place. Any unpasteurized cider sold commercially must have a warning label on the package. This label clearly states that the product has not been pasteurized and may contain harmful bacteria that can cause serious illness in vulnerable populations. This allows you to make an informed choice. If you are healthy and choose to drink raw cider, that's your decision. But the warning makes sure you're aware of the potential risks involved before you take a sip. So, does pasteurization affect the nutritional value? For the most part, not really. The gentle heating process is designed to be quick enough to preserve most of the vitamins and minerals in the cider. While some people argue that raw cider has a slightly more robust flavor and may contain more beneficial enzymes, the consensus among health experts is that the safety benefits of pasteurization far outweigh any minor nutritional differences. When in doubt, choosing pasteurized cider is always the safest bet to ensure your festive drink is both delicious and free from any unwanted germs. Apple cider has a surprisingly rich and fascinating history here in the United States. It wasn't always just a cozy autumn drink. For a long time, it was actually the most popular beverage in the entire country. The story really begins in the 1700s when British settlers brought apple seeds and cider-making traditions with them to the New World. The climate in New England was perfect for growing apples, and soon, orchards were everywhere. Back then, water wasn't always safe to drink, so fermented or hard, cider became a daily staple for men, women, and even children. It was safer than water, easy to make, and a great way to preserve the apple harvest. During colonial times, cider was more than just a drink, it was a part of the culture and economy. Many farmers paid their workers in cider, and it was a common feature at every meal and social gathering. Famous historical figures like John Adams were known to drink a tankard of hard cider every morning, believing it contributed to his health and long life. For over 100 years, hard cider reigned supreme as America's go-to beverage. It was produced in huge quantities on farms across the eastern seaboard, and its popularity was unmatched by any other drink of the era. The tide began to turn in the 1800s with the arrival of new immigrants, particularly from Germany. They brought with them a love for beer and the knowledge of how to brew it. As cities grew and the country expanded westward into areas less suitable for apple orchards but great for growing grains, beer started to gain popularity. The temperance movement and eventually prohibition in the early 20th century dealt another major blow to cider. Many cider apple orchards were chopped down in favor of planting sweeter, eating apples, and the art of cider making nearly faded away. But what a comeback story! In recent decades, there's been a huge resurgence of interest in both sweet and hard cider. The United States is now one of the world's biggest apple producers, with Washington state alone growing nearly half of the nation's supply. The craft beverage movement has breathed new life into the hard cider industry, which is now valued at over $800 million. And of course, the non-alcoholic, fresh-pressed apple cider we all love continues to be a cherished symbol of autumn. It's a wonderful link to our nation's past and a tradition that continues to evolve and delight us all. So, now that we know all about the wonderful world of apple cider, how can we enjoy it in a way that's both delicious and mindful of our health? The key, as with so many good things in life, is moderation. Because apple cider is higher in sugar and lower in fiber compared to a whole apple, it's best to think of it as a special treat rather than an everyday drink. When you do pour yourself a glass, just be mindful of the portion size. An 8-ounce serving is a great place to start. This allows you to really savor the flavor and enjoy that festive feeling without overdoing it on the sugar and calories. A great way to make your cider even healthier is to take control of what goes into it. Instead of buying pre-spiced or pre-sweetened cider, start with a jug of pure, 100% apple cider. This way, you can control the amount of added sugar. You might find that the natural sweetness of the apples is plenty for you. If you're heating it up, you can add your own whole spices like cinnamon sticks, cloves, and star anise. These spices not only add incredible flavor without any sugar, but they also come with their own health benefits, like anti-inflammatory properties. If you're looking to cut down on the sugar content even more, try diluting your cider with a bit of water. Mixing it half and half with water before you heat it up can cut the sugar and calories in half while still giving you that lovely apple flavor. You can also get creative by adding other healthy ingredients. A squeeze of fresh lemon or orange juice can brighten up the flavor, and dropping a few fresh cranberries into your mug adds a beautiful color and a tart kick. It's all about making small adjustments to fit your health goals while still enjoying your favorite seasonal drink. Ultimately, apple cider is meant to be savored. It's a drink that's tied to seasons, celebrations, and creating warm memories. By enjoying it mindfully, paying attention to portion sizes, and choosing safer pasteurized options, you can make it a joyful and sensible part of your autumn and winter traditions. So go ahead, warm up that mug of cider, Breathe in that amazing spicy aroma, and toast to the simple pleasures of the season. Cheers to enjoying every delicious, cozy sip in the smartest way possible.